That's it, George. Not only are you a lousy worker, but you're trying to steal from customers. Someone, get him out of my restaurant. And don't even think about asking for your pay packet.
Sir, please listen to me. I didn't steal her phone. I really didn't. Please, believe me. George pleaded as a security guard came over, grabbed him, and pushed him toward the door. He tried desperately to explain, but the manager didn't want to hear it. He was shoved out of the door by the guard, while Maddie watched, her eyes mocking him. George wanted to go back into the restaurant to clear his name, but the security guard was standing in the doorway staring at him menacingly, so he had no choice but to leave in a sorry state. Ever since graduating high school, George had been cut off by his family and had been made to live independently. To support himself, he had no choice but to take menial jobs, study diligently, and live thriftily. He sighed sorrowfully. When will things start to get better? When George got back to his dorm room, one of his roommates, Matt, walked up to him and patted him on the shoulder. George, your girlfriend has invited you to meet her out on the football field. When? George was overjoyed. Alice was finally taking the invitation to talk to him. It was such a nice surprise. Look at how excited you are. Come on, hurry up and get going, Matt chuckled. Another roommate, Lex, said, maybe your little girlfriend has invited you to meet her at the field for a special reason. He waggled his eyebrows suggestively. I'm going. But I'm confused. I really thought Alice was still being in a bad mood with me today. Back off, Lex, said Matt, who had started the commotion. He was George's closest friend out of all his roommates. She picked a place where they could be alone. Let's try and leave him a bit of privacy, please. But even their fourth roommate, Neil, who didn't even join in the banter, added his piece. Come on, we're all thinking it right. From his expression, he seemed to be even more excited than George himself. George laughed shyly. All right already. I'll just head over and see her. You're all reading way too much into this. I'm going now. She wants to meet me alone? He had no idea how to feel about it. At best, they would hold hands, probably not even kiss. There was zero chance he'd suddenly hit a home run that night. But a guy can always hope, right? George ran to the field. When he arrived, out of breath, he could see that Alice had been waiting for a long time. He quickly apologized. Sorry I'm late, Alice. I promise I'll have enough saved up to buy you that new phone soon. Can we go back to normal now, please? I miss you. Buy what? George, you've been talking about buying me a new phone for months. Do you even have any money? Because if you don't have the money to buy it, stop pretending. After so many empty promises, Alice lost her cool whenever he mentioned buying the phone. It was such a mess. He nervously tried to take her hand. Alice, listen to me. I'm trying my best to save money. I'll definitely be able to buy you a phone soon. I promise. You know what? Don't even bother. I'm breaking up with you. She sneered at his devastated expression. Break up? Alice, I swear. I'll be able to buy the phone really soon. His face twisted into a pained grimace as he tried desperately to convince her. Give it up already. We're done. George, I'm breaking up with you. Don't buy me a phone. I don't want it. She was getting more and more disgusted with the guy in front of her. She had been playing with him for such a long time, yet she hadn't realized that he had been playing with her too. The shame of being made to look like a fool made her feel sick. Seeing her callousness, George tried to convince himself that it was a good thing they were breaking up. But some part of him didn't want to just give her up. Babe, can you tell me why you're breaking up with me? Did I do something wrong? I'll change it, whatever it is. I promise I'll change. He tried to grab her hand, but she mercilessly shook him off. You want to know why? You're a thief, that's why. The story about him stealing Maddie's new smartphone had spread like wildfire around the entire campus. I don't want anyone to say that I have a thief for a boyfriend. Stealing things? It's just so embarrassing. George, you've really disappointed me. I'm ashamed of you. Her words were like lightning striking him. He was left utterly speechless. Seeing that he clearly had nothing else to say, Alice decided to leave. She sighed and shook her head as she turned to go. I finally got rid of that poor chump. Alice, listen to me. It's not what you think. I didn't steal her phone at all. George shook himself back into action, running after her and trying to grab her hand. Unable to stand his pestering any longer, Alice snorted and said, Fine. You want to know the truth? I dumped you because I already have a new boyfriend, and he has plenty of money. In fact, he's super rich. I'm tired of being tied down to a guy who can't even afford to take me out to a nice restaurant. If you know what's good for you, you won't bother me anymore. But if you hate me so much for being poor, why did you choose to be with me in the first place? George could not believe this was happening. Is she really dumping me because I have no money? Oh, I was with you because you're honest, gullible, easy to play with, and I have you wrapped around my little finger. But now I'm tired of it. I don't want to play anymore. Her words were like sharp needles, piercing George's heart and making him unable to breathe from the pain. He knew there was nothing more he could do. Go then, and I won't bother you again, he said softly. He tried to hide his tears, but his heart felt like the dying embers of a fire as he let go of Alice's hand. As he stood there helplessly watching her walk away, George's phone buzzed a text message alert. His eyes widened as he looked at the words on the screen. You have earned the right to inherit the family property empire worth billions. A senior staff member is on standby, waiting to assist you. Contact 303-654-323.